it going, YouTube? Today I want to start off by saying thank you for all the support I've got in the past week. I've really grown quite a bit on subscribers and on views, so thank you to you guys for all the support. Today I want to do another Sam KOLDER tutorial, and this one is going to be color grading in Final Cut Pro. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it, so let's get into it and hop on the computer. Okay guys, we're in Final Cut right now, and I have the 3 clips that you saw in the intro all in my timeline right here. These are all ungraded footage straight out of the camera. The first shot is from a GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black. Second 2 shots are from a DJI Phantom 3. So these are in here, and we're going to start the color grading. But one thing I want to mention before we get to it is that grading isn't going to make crappy footage amazing footage. It requires a little bit of work before you do the grading called color correction to really get it so that the grading is effective. So to do a little bit of color correction, I'm going to quickly show you guys how to do that. This is just a basic color correction. It's not a very advanced method, but it will get it done as quickly as we need it to. So we're going to start off by showing the video scopes. This can be done with Command 7 or in the top right under the View tab. So we're going to show our video scopes, and the first one we're going to want to work with is the Luma. Luma refers to light and dark and basically the exposure of the clip. So to get this started, we are going to go into our effects and just add a basic color correction. This is the built-in color correction that's in Final Cut. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply these to all these clips, and we will work on those later, but we'll start with the first clip here. So basically for adjusting the exposure, we want to limit the amount of white at 100. So that basically means that nothing is getting blown out, and we want to limit the blacks at 0, so nothing is over darkened. So for this, we want to bring down our whites just a tad. Basically, you want to look through the whole clip and find about what is the highest point. So we're going to bring down the whites just a little bit more, and then the blacks aren't looking too bad, and if we just bump those up a little bit. So that's done just by dragging the slider here. You can also type in values if you want to get even more precise. So this is looking pretty good as it is. Maybe I'm just going to bump up the midtones a little bit to make it a brighter shot. I'm liking the look of that a lot better. One thing you can do too is use the broadcast safe filter, and that basically cuts everything off at 0 and at 100. So if we want to delete this color correction that we did and just add a broadcast safe filter to it, as you can see, that caps everything off at 100 and at 0. So that can be a useful tool. I use that quite a bit, but it's good to do a little bit of color correction as well as using the broadcast filter. So I'm going to get my color correction back, and then I'm going to add the broadcast safe filter on it as well, and then that is looking pretty good as far as exposure. The other thing we want to look at is the color channels, and that can be found in RGB Parade. So this clip actually looks pretty good so far. Basically what we want is equal values between red, green, and blue. I'm liking the color on this. It's pretty flat, but that works really good for grading. So I'm going to leave that one as is, and we're going to move on to the second clip. So we're going to switch back to our Luma. We're going to add a broadcast safe as a base grade, and then go into our first color correction. And for this, it's not looking too bad. Maybe drop the blacks a little bit just to get those a little further down. And then I'm going to bump up the midtones, and then maybe drop the whites just because the sky is already looking a little blown out. It's pretty bright in comparison just the way the sun was looking. So that's actually pretty decent. So we'll leave that like that, and we're going to go into the RGB Parade for this clip. So as you can see, this clip's got a little bit lower blues here. It's not too bad. We're going to do a slight correction, and we're just going to change the blacks to a little bit less blue. That's sort of what this means from 0 to 100. So we're going to take this on the color board here. Going into below the line is the negative. So if you want to make something less blue, you can either go into the negative blue or into the positive complementary color in the orange. For this, we're just going to do a little bit more, or more blue here to get those even. That's looking a little bit better as far as a balanced color profile. So I'm happy with that. Remember guys, this is just a quick grade, but it will do a good enough job for this tutorial. So this one, as you can see, it's a little bit flat. So we're gonna add broadcast safe filter again. That doesn't really change much in this clip, for example. We're gonna drop the blacks, lift the whites, and this is just a lot of mid-tone colors here, but that's not too bad for the clip. Going into RGB Parade, this one isn't too bad. Definitely a little bit of blues in the highlights. So we'll go into the highlights and we're going to need to drop that down a little bit. And as you can see, that sort of brings a little bit more green into the water. So we're going to leave that like that. So this is a quick color correction on all these clips. And now we're going to get into the color grading itself. As I said before, we're going to do two different ways to do it. So I'm going to copy each of these clips and we will be able to show you each the two ways. So the first way is a built-in filter in Final Cut called teal and orange. And this is really what look Sam does to a lot of his footage. If we go into his Instagram, this is what I notice the most. It's those pretty saturated oranges. So as you can see, there's a lot of orange midtones in here. And this is sort of like a classic cinematic look where you have a teal sort of shadow color and then a lot of orange in the midtones and the highlights. So orange, as you can see, is a prominent color, especially, for example, this shot here. We got that sort of desaturated blue tones with the nice warm orange tones. It really gives a nice complementary color grade to it. So this is the look that we're going to go for in the tutorial. So hopping back into Final Cut, the teal and orange filter, just straight off the bat, it's not the best, but if you're looking for a really quick color grade, then it will do. So I'm going to drop that on the clip. And for this, I want to protect the highlights, protect skin tones quite a bit. Not that this shot has skin tones. And then for the amount, 25 is about good. So for this shot, it doesn't work the best, but for other shots, it might work a little bit better. On this shot, we will do this exact same thing. So this is a pretty dramatic look to it. Drop this down to 25 and protect the highlights. See how it changes it. So for this, I like that orange highlight that we're getting, so we'll leave that at 50. And then we'll drop that like that. And then for the third clip here, we will drop this back down 25 and protect the highlights. And as you can see, it's a decent look. It's nowhere near as good as Sam's, but if you're looking for something super quick, then this is how you do it. So now we're going to do it the way that I do it and the way that I think you guys should do it as well. And this is going to be using LUTs, which stands for lookup tables, and a plugin called MLUT by motioneffects.com. I'm going to put the link in the description for the video. So go here and install this plugin. And then the other thing you're going to need is LUTs. I've supplied 3 LUTs for you guys, all for free. So go download these from my Dropbox. I'll have the link again in the description. If you guys use these and like them, please like and subscribe for me and really help me grow this channel. And that can be payment for providing these LUTs. So hopping back into Final Cut Pro, we're going to go into MLUT. So we can drag and drop MLUT onto the second clip, just like this. And then you're going to load the LUT. So we're going to load custom LUT here and find this in your downloads. It'll be Sam KOLDER LUTs, and there's 3 different ones. For me, I'm really liking the third one, so that is my recommendation, but play with them and find the one that you like. You can tweak them a little bit. So we're going to load this into Final Cut, and this is the look that we get straight off the bat. And this is really sort of replicating some of Sam's color grading that he does. We got a lot of orange tones in the trees, and then sort of a darker, a little bit desaturated, but still lots of color in the sky. You can drop the intensity of the LUT if this is a little bit too dramatic. For 60, for example, drops it a little bit. For this shot, it's not looking too bad at 100. So this is before, and this is after. It's super quick, super easy, and you get a really good look out of it. There's some other sliders in here if you want to play with for this shot. Making it a little bit brighter again is good. You might get it a little bit blown out, but definitely use these sliders if you need a little bit more tweaking after you've applied the LUT. So we're going to do the same thing to the second clip on this. So this is the before, drag and drop MLUT, load custom LUT. Again, I'm going to use the third one, and this is the look that we get. This is definitely a little bit dark, so we can bump up the midtones a little bit and drop the intensity of the LUT. We'll go to 80, and that definitely brings back a lot more of the detail from the shadows, but we're still getting a lot of nice tones in the palm trees here. So this is the before, and this is the after with the LUT. Moving on to the third clip, we're going to do the exact same thing. Load custom LUTs, number 3, and here we go. So again, this is a little bit too contrasty and intense, so drop the intensity down to 80, maybe a little bit less, 70, and bring back a little bit of highlights in here, make that a little brighter, and that is looking pretty good. Yeah, I like a lot of the tones that are happening on the right side of the shot. So you can definitely mess with a lot of the settings in here if you need to. Depending on the shot, it's going to be quite different. The other thing is get rid of grain as well. That's one thing I forgot to mention. MLUT automatically applies, and it's not something that I particularly like in these shots, but if you're looking for a little bit more of a film look, then you can apply that. So as you can see, that is the built-in look from Final Cut. This is the color grade that we did using LUTs. This is the one from in Final Cut, and then with the plugin itself. So you can definitely see it's a lot better in my opinion, and hopefully you guys will have the same opinion as well. So that's it for the tutorial today. If you guys like this, please comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know. If you want me to do more of these tutorials, please comment what you want to see in the comment section, and I will get to them right away. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.